Hi, everybody. Okay, so how this chapter 3 practice test is going to work is I'm going to read you the problem. Okay, so I'm going to read you the problem number. Then it's going to pause, and then you're going to be asked to work it out on your own. Okay, and then once you have the answer, you're going to click the multiple choice answer that you think it is. Once you click it, it's going to tell you whether you're right or wrong. Okay. And then after that, the video is going to resume and I'm going to actually work out that problem so that you see how to do it before even moving on to the next problem. So if you get it right, just watch, compare your work, okay? And then if you get it wrong, I'm going to be asking you to reflect on that and look at your work while you're doing it, okay? And then see, what did I do wrong that Miss Hayes is doing? So, where did I go wrong in my problem? And what do I need to fix next time in order to get it right? So make sure right now you have your composition notebook open. You should be writing down your work for every single one of these problems, okay? So at the top of your paper right now, you should have chapter 3 practice test part 1 written at the top. And then you should be beginning to write number 1. And from here, you're going to show me your work for number 1, okay? So you do need to write work for every single problem because I am going to have you look at your work and try to figure out where you went wrong and what mistake you made and how you can fix that in the future so you don't make that on the test. Okay, so let's begin. Oopsies. The first problem is number 1. Simplify negative 6 plus 1/3 x minus 7 minus 1/6 x. So right now, go ahead and go solve this problem. Okay, you should have already answered this question. So now we're going to go over how to complete it. So first step, remember, is you want to rewrite as a sum. So if you forgot that piece, don't forget it for next time. Rewrite as a sum, okay? So how we're going to do that, we're going to do negative 6 plus 1/3 x. Rather than minus 7, we're going to do plus negative 7. Then rather than minus 1/6 x, we're going to do plus negative 1/6 x, okay? Then we need to identify our like terms. I'm going to circle my constants and I'm going to square my like terms that have just x to the first power on them. Okay, now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to rearrange them so that the shapes, or as we like to call them, my like terms, are next to each other so I can combine them. So negative 6 plus negative 7 plus 1/3 x plus negative 1/6 x. And notice that I'm making sure to include the negatives in front of the numbers. I'm not just dropping them just because I'm moving them around. I still make sure that if there's a negative on it, I'm carrying it over every single time. So then from here, I know negative 6 plus negative 7 is going to give me negative 13. And then 1/3 x plus negative 1/6 x. So that's fraction work. So over here, I'm just going to do this work on the side. And remember, x, they have the x. So I'm essentially just going to take it out for now. And I'm going to do 1/3 plus negative 1/6 just to get the coefficient. So I need a common denominator. So I'm going to multiply the 1/3 by 2 on both the top and the bottom. That's going to give me 2/6 plus negative 1/6. Then, of course, you add your numerators. 2 plus negative 1 all over 6. 2 plus negative 1 is just going to give me 1/6. And remember, we have that x, so it's going to be a positive 1/6 x. And that is my final answer, simplified. All right. Now let's go down to number 2. Okay, so number 2, you are going to simplify negative 8 times 2 minus 3w minus 5w. So on your own, I would like you to complete this problem. Once you answer it, I will go over it. Okay, you should have completed number 2. Now we're going to go over how to do it. First step that I hope you all did is you need to distribute. You got to distribute. Okay, so we're going to distribute that negative 8 to the first term, and that's going to give me negative 8 times 2. Then you're going to distribute it to the second term, and that's going to give me negative 8 times negative 3w, because make sure you pay attention to this. Okay, and then, of course, we have the minus 5w. So let's work this out. Negative 8 times 2 will give me negative 16. Negative 8 times negative 3w. Well, negative 8 times negative 3 would give me a positive 24 because remember, a negative times a negative will give me a positive. And then don't forget we have this w here. So we're going to attach that there. And then it's minus 5w. We can't simplify that anymore. Okay, we need to identify our like terms. So I'm going to circle the constant. Looks like there's only one constant here, so that's the only one I'm going to circle. And then I notice that 24w and minus 5w both have the same variable raised to the same exponent. So now negative 16, well, there's nothing to combine it with, so I know negative 16 is just going to stay the same. And then 24w minus 5w. Well, all I'm going to do is 24 minus 5, which I know that's 19. And then, of course, attach the w to it. So the final answer is just negative 16 plus 19w. All right, that is number 2. Let's move on to number 3. So number 3, on your own, you're going to find 12y minus 1 plus negative 10y plus 7. So go ahead and work on that. Okay, you should have completed this problem and chosen an answer. Now we're going to go over how we are going to solve it. So first, identify like terms. Always, always, always we want to identify our like terms because remember, we can only combine things that are like terms. So I'm going to circle 12y, and then I notice that negative 10y, these have the same variable raised to the same exponent. So those are like terms. Then I'm going to square my constants, okay, the numbers that don't have a variable attached to them. And I'm going to do the vertical method for this one. You could have done the horizontal method. That is totally fine. So I'm going to write the first chunk, which is 12y minus 1. Make sure you are paying attention to the signs that are in front of the numbers, that you carry them over. And then we have plus, this is a negative 10y plus 7. Main concerns when you're doing the vertical method, make sure that you stack your like terms vertically, okay? So that is something that you definitely want to pay attention to, but stack your like terms vertically. So 12y minus 10y is just going to give me 2y. And then negative 1 plus 7 is just going to give me a positive 6. So my answer to this is just 2y plus 6. Okay, let's scroll down to number 4. Number 4, on your own, I would like you to complete this. Find negative 4 times 3m minus 3 plus negative 10 plus 8m. So on your own, go ahead and go do that. Once you've chosen your answer, I will go over it. Okay, you should have completed it. And again, I hope that you said that your first move was to distribute, because remember, you have that number chilling outside the parentheses right here. So I hope you thought, I gotta distribute. So let's do that. Let's distribute the negative 4 into the 3m. So remember, we multiply it, negative 4 times 3m. Then we're going to distribute it to the second term. So my negative 4 times the whole thing, which is negative 3. Then we have plus negative 10 plus 8m, okay? Negative 4 times 3m is going to give me a negative 12m. Negative 4 times negative 3, well, a negative times a negative is going to give me a positive 12. Okay, so that's going to be the first half, plus negative 10 plus 8m. From here, we have our normal setup. So now we just need to identify our like terms. So I see here that this one has an m. This one also has an m raised that doesn't have an exponent, which means it's raised to the first power. And then I have constants, 12 and negative 10. Okay, so this one, be careful, because if we do the vertical method, we have negative 12m plus 12, okay? That's fine. But be careful, because we're not just going to write this one in order, because if we did that, our like terms would not be lined up vertically. So I want to make sure to place the like terms on top of each other. So I'm going to write first the 8m, because that is the like term with negative 12m. And then secondly, I'm going to write minus 10. Okay, so the important thing here is make sure that you are stacking them based on their like term. Okay, so negative 12m plus 8m is going to give me negative 4m. And then a positive 12 minus 10, well, that's just going to leave me with a positive 2. So our answer is negative 4m plus 2. All right, and that is number 4. Okay, let's go down to number 5. Number 5 says, which expression represents the difference, which is 4b plus 7 minus 6b minus 3. So you are going to pick the answer that you think is correct. Go ahead, work on that on your own. Once you choose your answer, I will go over it. Okay, so let's work this one out. So difference, this one's very important, okay, because we got to be careful about our signs. So 4b plus 7 minus 6b minus 3. First thing, and I talked about this in the chapter, is we want to distribute this subtraction sign into both terms, okay? And essentially we can think of it like a negative, okay? So rather than adding this second half, we're actually subtracting it. So we got to show that. So this is going to be a minus, and then we're subtracting 6b, okay? And then we're subtracting negative 3. So remember from chapter 1, if you're subtracting a negative, that just turns into a positive. So this is essentially going to be minus 6b plus 3, because remember, it turns into a positive. Okay, let's identify our like terms. 4b and negative 6b are like terms. And then we have 7, and we have a positive 3. From here, I'm going to stack them vertically, like I like to do. So I'm going to write 4b plus 7. Then right here, I'm going to write minus 6b plus 3, okay? Notice that I'm being careful to include whatever sign is in front of the number. Since there's a negative in front of 6b, I'm including that here. 4b minus 6b is going to give me negative 2b. And then a positive 7 plus 3 is going to give me a positive 10. So my answer is going to be negative 2b plus 10, which looks like it is this one right here. So that would be my answer. All right, that is number 5. Let's scroll down. Oh, just a quick note, we're skipping number 6, 7, and 8, okay, because we did not cover those sections. So on the test, you will also be skipping number 6, 7, and 8, just to be aware. All right, number 9, you're going to do this on your own, and then we're going to go over it as a class. So solve 5/4 equals y minus 1/4. Solve 5/4 equals y minus 1/4. Okay, ready, set, go. Okay, let's go over it as a class. So first thing you want to do, draw a line down the equal sign. Then you always want to pay attention to the side with the variable on it, okay? The side with the variable on it is actually the right side this time. Then you want to see what sign is connecting the 1/4 to the y. And I see here that it's subtraction, okay? And I know that addition is the inverse function. Okay, so that's something to note. So, inverse operation. Oopsies. Operation, okay? So, we need to cancel this out. So, to cancel out a negative 1/4, we need to add 1/4 to each side. Add 1/4 to each side. That is going to cancel these out. And so, all I'm going to be left with is a y on the right side. Then on the left side, you're going to have, we're going to do it over here, 5/4 plus 1/4. That's going to give me 5 plus 1. We already have the same denominator, so we can just add them. 5 plus 1 over 4. That's going to give me 6 over 4. Simplify. Don't forget to simplify. We can divide these by 2. Divide by 2. That's going to give me 3 over 2. So I know y equals 3 over 2. And I plug it in like that. Then don't forget your check. Write your original equation. 5/4 equals y minus 1/4. Well, 5/4 equals, plug in what our y equals, which is 3/2, minus 1/4. Find a common denominator. Going to multiply by 2, multiply by 2. 5/4 equals, and it's 6 over 4 minus 1/4. And I know that 6 minus 1 will give me 5 over 4. So up here, I'm going to write 5/4 does in fact equal 5/4. I know my answer is correct. Don't forget to check. Always, always. This is going to save you on the test next Monday because if you check your work, you'll know for sure your answer is correct before you even submit the big ideas test. So don't forget to check your work. All right, let's scroll down to number 10. Number 10, you are going to write the word sentence as an equation, then solve. The difference between a number C and 13 is -2. So what I would like you to do is I would like you to write the equation, okay, based off of this word sentence. And then you're also going to solve for C once you write the equation. So this is a 2-part problem. Go ahead and do it on your own, and then we'll go over it as a class. Okay, so first, let's write the equation. The difference between a number C and 13 is -2. So to write this, difference means subtraction. Let's remind ourselves of that, okay? So the difference between a number C and 13 is 2. Is typically is our equal sign, okay? So just note that. So it would be C minus 13 equals -2. The difference between C and 13 is -12. Oh, I wrote that wrong. It's supposed to be -2. Okay, and then from there, that's our equation. Okay, so that's the first part of our answer. Now we need to solve for C. So again, focus on the side with the variable on it, which is the left side. We need to do the inverse operation of subtraction. So we're going to add 13 on both sides. That's going to cancel. We're going to be left with C equals -2 plus 13 is going to give me 11. And I know C equals 11. And if you'd like to check your work, which you always should, what you're going to do is you're going to plug it back into the original equation, which is C minus 13 equals -2. Plug in the C, 11 minus 13 equals -2. And I know 11 minus 13 does in fact equal -2. So I can go check. I know my answer is correct. All right, that is number 10. Okay, our last one for part 1 is solve t over -4 equals 9. T over -4 equals 9. Go ahead, get started. Okay, you should have answered this one. So first, draw a line down the equal sign. Then we always want to pay attention to the side that has the variable on it. So we're going to pay attention to the left side. Now, what I want you to tell me is, how is this -4 being attached to the t? How is that -4 being attached to the t? I hope you thought division, okay? And then I hope that since you thought division, you remembered that multiplication is the inverse operation of division, okay? And I hope you thought, oh, I need to multiply both sides by not just 4, but -4. So we're going to do -4 over 1 times -4, okay? Cross cancel. The -4s are going to cancel out. We're going to be left with t over 1, which is the same as t. And 9 times -4 is going to give me a -36. So I know t equals -36. But until I check my work, I don't know for sure. So I'm going to do a check over here. I'm going to write down t over -4 equals 9. Rather than writing the t in the next line, I'm going to write -36 over -4 equals 9. -36 divided by -4, 2 negatives, remember, going to equal positive. So it's going to equal +9, which is in fact what I wanted. So I can do a check mark. I know that I am right. Okay, great job. This is the first part of the practice test, okay? This practice test is going to look identical to the test you guys are going to take on Monday. So rewatch this if you need to go over it again. Redo these problems if you need to. But overall, this should be good practice to help prepare you for the test. All right. Thanks a lot for watching.